I believe the term that you're looking for is slob. We decided, against our better judgment, to try an experiment that threatened to challenge the very way we live our lives. And we decided, my wife and I, that we would not produce any waste, or as close to a zero waste, for a whole entire week. We've watched these challenge videos and know how this works. The main thing you have to do is make ground rules. And so we decided going into this that we could produce toilet paper waste because, yeah, rice. We had already bought it in a bag and it was in a container. And so we thought if we're gonna not make waste in other areas of food, we'd at least let rice be an exception. And finally, shampoo and cleaning products, because if you're gonna torture yourself for a week, you might as well have good looking hair while you do it. So we emptied our trash bags, we made a meal plan, and we went shopping and figured out how to navigate this new territory, this new landscape. The first thing that we noticed was that we ate so much healthier. When you can't buy things that are in a wrapper, and when you're looking around the store and 90% of the stuff is in a packaging anyway, it makes it pretty limited on what you can and can't consume. So just red cabbage and green cabbage. There's spinach around here somewhere, right?
In a plastic thing, yeah.
And so we ended up cooking a lot of whole fresh fruits and veggies. Our meals pretty much was veggies and rice and fruits. And so it made it really simple, and we had no extra sugar because we weren't drinking pops and teas that were prepackaged, and we're not dedicated to walk to the local gas station and buy those things out of the fountain, and it just defeats the spirit of this experiment anyway. But another thing is, like, zero waste gets kind of this bad rap nowadays as being like a popular movement, like save the turtles. And it's weird because this is something that's helpful. This is something that benefits. It only seeks to make the world a better place. So it's weird that people trash it like they do. But if I'm being honest, it's not something that I was even interested in. This whole experiment was something that was spearheaded by my wife because she has a really strong passion about this, and I was just roped in to go along.
Growing up, my family didn't recycle. No one I knew recycled. It was always kind of like a weird thing that people did, and I didn't know why. I see the importance in it. As I have learned more about it, I have just realized that waste, and more than just recycling or anything like that, when we just mindlessly consume and don't care about the effect that has on people, it is important. It is more than a trend. It should be. And I just feel like that whole consumerism mindset that I've had like pretty much my whole life hurts people, and I haven't cared about the consequences of that. And so that's what I wanted to change with this. Everyone cares about it, but sometimes it's just in a passive way. And I know for myself that the intention to just love other people, not wanting to hurt anybody, and just the realization that what I'm doing does hurt people even though I can't see them. Again, I think I just learned that it's not about zero waste or like putting a label on something. It's just, I think for me, trying to live more intentionally and making sure that I am being mindful about my purchases and doing the best that I can with that.
As we went through this experiment, in a funny way, it ended up not becoming an exercise in not producing waste. It ended up becoming a giant exercise in self-denial. My normal breakfast of mini donuts on the way to work was now replaced with a banana because I couldn't make trash. And if I wanted to buy something from Amazon that week, not going to happen. And it ended up, in a lot of ways, being almost like a spiritual experience. That no longer could I just think about what I wanted and myself, but rather I had to think about denying myself and not doing what I wanted to do in the moment and belaying instant gratification. And we weren't going into this looking for some sort of like spiritual insight, but that's kind of what ended up coming out of it, was since we were having to deny ourselves all these things, we ended up just going through that process and growing in those channels because we were benefiting the world around us, and it looked like not getting what we wanted, which was just a bizarre thing to think about. More than anything, though, this experiment just opened our eyes. It opened our eyes to how much trash was just around our neighborhood, to how much packaging goes into things at the store, how many things are just even on produce. Like, it's a banana, it's a piece of lettuce, let it be, okay? You don't have to wrap it up and dress it up all pretty. But the thing is, the goal was not to throw anything away, right? And so there were several times where I was holding something in my hand and went into that natural just habit of throwing it in the garbage can, and I had to stop every time and think, where did this come from? What am I doing with it? What could I do with it instead? And it just transferred over into our everyday lives moving forward, that every time we're holding something in our hands, I now second guess what I'm going to do with it. Wait, where did you come from? That's crazy to think about, that you have a family and kids. I never would have imagined. To the recycling bin. Some things that we learned going forward is we're going to recycle more. We've got different bins set up through our house to help our plastics and our paper. We're going to cut down on just the general amount of waste that comes into and through our home, whether that's through our bills or just general paper goods or plastic goods. We started asking not for to-go items, but just to take them as we can. And it just generally showed us that we can be less wasteful for anything less than to clean up your neighborhood, to stop the giant pile of trash the size of Texas out in the ocean, to benefit somebody around the world even, that this is something that's important and it's something that is possible. And it's something that before this I really had never given thought to. But I think now moving forward that it's something that I'm going to consider a lot more and take practical steps towards to benefit and to do better at. So really you can't do a whole thing like this and not really show how it went. Although when something like this goes on, I think there's 1,000 videos that just show people and their struggles, but rather we wanted to show a little bit of what we've learned and what kind of went on, but doesn't mean we can't have a little fun. So the meantime, here's what we threw away. Had a bag of flour because we made some pita pockets and stuff one night. Got a little out of hand and ate some chicky nug nugs, but they're the veggie variety. And the most shameful thing would probably have to be, yeah, this right here. Oops. So other than that, nothing too big, but I'm gonna put the bag of shame away now. But if you want to be a part and maybe talk a little bit or just be a part of what's going on here, that's all found down below. Share your experiences, share what's going on, and we'd love just to carry on this conversation of what you've done, how you've been growing, and how we can just continue to learn more together and grow as people. Thanks for tuning in, and look forward to next time.